بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة. غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء، يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي، فنفوز فوزا عظيما. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا، ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام على قلب زينب الصبور، السلام على الخيام الخاليات، السلام على الرؤوس المشالات، السلام على الدموع السائلات، ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون، والعاقبة للمتقين. Please recite Allah صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. When the sun set on the day of Ashura, Imam al-Husayn's role in this life had come to an end. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's role started after the martyrdom of Imam al-Husayn. Although his enemies were celebrating the victory, they were beating the drums of victory, rejoicing, clapping, having fun, but signs of defeat were apparent on the entire army. Psychological defeat. Deep down, they felt that they were defeated. While on the other side, although they were crushed, they were defeated. Even the tents were set ablaze, but they felt as if they were victorious. When Lady Zainab went to Kufa, she hammered the people of Kufa. She mopped them with the floor. أَتَعْلَمُونَ أَيَّ كَبْدٍ لِرَسُولِ اللَّهِ فَرَيْتُمْ. O people of Kufa, do you know what you've done? Do you know who the person that you killed, do you know who he was? A man says that I was there. The people of Kufa were mute. They couldn't say anything. وَمَا رَأَيْتُ خَفِرَةً قَطْ. I've never seen a woman who's bereaved, who witnessed such a tragedy, who witnessed the martyrdom of her children, brothers, relatives, the companions of her brother, and witnessed the tragedy of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. And yet, despite all of that, she wasn't defeated, as if she was the victorious one. It was unbelievable how she stood against Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad in his assembly. When she entered inside the assembly, Ubaydullah was sitting on his throne. He noticed that the kids, the children, are surrounding this woman. So he said, "Who are you? Identify yourself." She ignored him. He said, "What's your name?" She ignored him. She said that to Yazid in his assembly as well. She said to him, لَإِنْ جَرَتْ عَلَيَّ الدَّوَاهِي مُخَاطَبَتَكْ. Fate led to these things to happen. It was destiny that brought me here and forced me to talk to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't even talk to someone like you. I belittle you. فإني لأستصغر قدرك وأستعظم تقريعك. So he asked for the third time, what's your name? She didn't answer. Another man who was there said that this is Zainab, the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So he laughed. He said, Alhamdulillah, your false was exposed, your lies were exposed. So, what do you think about God's treatment? She said, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. It was sheer good. Everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did to me, did to my family, was good. Then she said, you're laughing. سَيَجْمَعَ اللَّهَ بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُمْ. You'll be reunited with them on the day of judgment. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge between you and them. وَسَتَعْلَمْ لِمَنِ الْفَلَجُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَبْنَ مَرْجَانَ. And you will know who is the victorious one on the day of judgment, O son of Marjan. Everyone knew about Marjan. She didn't have a good reputation in the community. So she's saying to him that you have killed the son of Fatima. I am the son of Fatima, while you are the son of Marjan. Brothers and sisters, there is a hadith that states, مَنْ تَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهِ كَانَ أَشْجَعَ النَّاسِ. If a person relies on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person will be the most courageous, the bravest person. Why? Because you have the backing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not relying on your wealth, you're not relying on your tribe, you're not relying on your university degree. Some people do that. Some people, to attain self-confidence, they think that they can become confident through becoming wealthy. They rely on their wealth. The problem is, when they lose it, when they lose their wealth, they become psychologically defeated. They lose their confidence. You rely on your beauty, once you grow old, it's not there anymore. But when you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's nothing that can shake you. Musa alayhi salam, he went with the Israelites, 5,000 people of the Israelites. They reached the shore of the sea. They looked behind only to see that Pharaoh is coming with his troops. 100,000 soldiers are chasing them. And they were very close to them. They had reached the shore. The sea is in front of them. They can't cross the sea. So his people, his nation said to him, إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ. That's it. If they arrest us, they will kill us because they ran away from Egypt. What was Musa's response? Because he is relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not fearful. He said, إِنَّ مَعِي رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينِ. He didn't even panic. I don't have to worry because I have the divine backing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why even if you're poor, even if no one knows you, you can still be confident through relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a beautiful hadith. It was a conversation that took place between Khidr and Imam Ali alayhi salam. Khidr said to the Imam, he said to him that it's very nice to see a wealthy man showing humility, being modest and humble in the presence of a poor man. We see this in Iraq during the Arba'in. You see wealthy, affluent people, millionaires, that help the Zuwar, massage their feet, give them food. So he was saying that this is a very good quality to possess. Being wealthy, being affluent, but you display and exhibit humility when you see a poor person. Imam Ali alayhi salam said to him, better still is to see a poor man, تِيهُ الْفُقَرَاء لِلْأَغْنِيَاء. A poor person who doesn't have money, but I don't want to use the word arrogant, but has absolute confidence in the presence of a wealthy person, can compose himself, can contain himself, doesn't lose his self-confidence when he's in the presence of his boss, of a politician, of the president, of the king. He is absolutely confident and maybe even a little bit arrogant. How? Through the reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you have the divine backing. Why should you stutter? And this is what Zainab demonstrated in the aftermath of the tragedy. Wherever she went to the assembly of Yazid, while the head of Imam al-Hussein was in a basket in front of Yazid. And Yazid was drinking alcohol and spilling the remainder near the basket, desecrating the sanctity of Imam al-Hussein, the sanctity of the progeny of the Prophet. She said to him, did you think, O Yazid, أخذت علينا أقطار الأرض وآفاق السماء, that you've assumed power? Do you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes you and He gave you all of this? And that He doesn't like us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about you in the Quran when He says, إِنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ لِيَزْدَادُوا إِثْمًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is allowing you to commit more sins, to burden yourself, so that you go straight to hell after you die. And then she said to him, إِسْعَ سَعْيَكْ وَنَاصِبْ جُهْدَكْ. Try as much as you can. فَوَاللَّهِ لَن تَمْحُوَ ذِكْرَنَا. You won't be able to erase our remembrance. So there was a man from the crowd who stood up. He said, O Amir, O Khalifa, O Yazid, Ya Amir al-Mu'min. They used to call him Amir al-Mu'mineen. Could you give me that girl? And he looked at the daughter of Imam al-Hussein, Sukayn, Fatima bint al-Hussein. What was Zainab's response? Sukaina was only a 13-year-old girl. So she sought refuge with her auntie Zainab. Sayyidah Zainab said, مَا كَانَ ذَلِكَ لَكَ. You won't be able to do that. To take Sukaina from me. Although, again, they were bereaved, they were captives. Yazid said, if I say so, then he can. She said, مَا كَانَ ذَلِكَ لَكَ وَلَا لَحْ. You won't be able to do that as well. Who could say such a thing in the presence of a dictator, of a king like Yazid ibn Muawiyah, who had just killed Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, the master of the youth of paradise, with absolute confidence. مَا كَانَ ذَلِكَ لَكَ وَلَا لَحْ. Unless if you leave the domain of Islam and the domain of our religion. إِلَّا أَن تَخْرُجَ عَن مِلَّتِنَا. Yazid was defeated in his assembly, in his own assembly. And she said to him, that's another lesson that we can learn. She didn't say to him, why did you kill Abu Abdullah? She said, أَمِنَ الْعَدْلِ. That's how she started her sermon. أَمِنَ الْعَدْلِ يَبْنَ الطُّلَقَاءِ. Is that justice, O son of the freed ones? The ones that my grandfather Rasulullah freed when he conquered Mecca. Your grandfather Abu Sufyan was one of the people that devised all the plots against the Prophet. When he conquered Mecca, the Prophet said, anyone that goes to the house of Abu Sufyan shall be set free, can roam freely in the city of Mecca. We won't take revenge. And when a man went inside Mecca, when Mecca was conquered, and he began calling Al-Yawm Yawm al-Malhamah, Al-Yawm Tusba al-Huramah, this is the day that we take revenge. The Prophet sent Amir al-Mu'mineen to say, Al-Yawm Yawm al-Marhamah. This is the day that we shall have mercy upon you. Al-Yawm Tuhma al-Huramah. Today we will protect you. And then he said, Abu Sufyan, his gang, anyone who participated in any war against the Prophet won't take any revenge from anyone. O son of the freed ones, the ones that the Prophet freed. Amin al-Adl, is that justice? That your family, your progeny are protected, while the progeny of Rasulullah, وسوقك بنات رسول الله سبايا يتصفح وجوههن القريب والبعيد. While the faces of the daughters of Rasulullah are exposed for everyone to see, for everyone to gaze at. Is that justice, O Yazid? This is how she talked to Yazid. Why? And how? Because she relied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Zainab is not just another woman who participated in Karbala. Zainab took an active role in protecting the religion of Islam and in protecting the message of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. First of all, she protected Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and saved him when he was about to die, when Ali al-Akbar was killed. She came out calling wa aliyah, wa waladah. So the Imam returned to the tent to return Zainab. So she saved Imam al-Hussein on the day of Ashura. Then, when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam came to say goodbye to his son, Imam al-Sajjad, دخل علي أبي عصر عاشوراء وهو يشرب دما. The Imam was heavily wounded. He was bleeding. He came inside the tent to say goodbye to Ali, to Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam. Imam al-Sajjad wanted to go to the battlefield. Imam al-Hussein looked at Zainab. احبسيه. Don't let him go. Because if he goes, the lineage of Al-Muhammad will be severed. So she saved Imam Zain al-Abidin. She saved an Imam on the day of Ashura. Number 3, when they raided the tent, they wanted to kill Imam Zain al-Abidin. They didn't know that Imam al-Hussein had another son who was alive. They wanted to kill him. She threw herself on the Imam, saying that if you want to kill him, you have to kill me first. And it was shameful for the Arabs to kill a woman in a war. So she saved Imam Zain al-Abidin. That's the 3rd time that she's saving an Imam. The 4th time was in the assembly of Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad. Ubaidullah wanted Imam Zain al-Abidin to be killed. She threw herself on the Imam, saying that if you want to kill him, you have to kill him first. When we look at the story of Yusuf, we find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of all the details, He says that there was one of the brothers told the other brothers not to kill Yusuf. قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ لَا تَقْتُلُوا يُوسُف. Throw him in the wells instead of killing him. Narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam tells us that 40 years later, when Yusuf went to receive his father, who was coming from the Bedouin, he did not alight from the back of his horse. And this was disrespectful. They didn't expect that from Yusuf alayhi salam. You're a prophet, the son of a prophet. You saw your father, you have to alight from the back of the horse. Archangel Gabriel comes down on the Prophet Yusuf. He says to him to open his hand. He opens his hand, he takes out a light from the palm of his hand. So he says, Habibi Jibreel, what did you do? He said, this is the light of prophethood. The light of prophethood has been removed from your lineage. Yusuf was a prophet, his father was a prophet, his grandfather was a prophet. But your son will not be a prophet. Where is it going? Because he needs a successor. The line of prophethood needs to continue. Where is it going? قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ لَا تَقْتُلُوا يُوسُف. A brother 40 years ago saved Yusuf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remunerated him by giving him the light of prophethood. Musa alayhi salam was the 3rd generation from the children of Lawi, the brother of Yusuf. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remunerated him. Sayyidah Zainab saved Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam on the day of Ashura and saved Imam Zain al-Abidin 3 times. That's why her role in protecting the religion was a pivotal role. That's why the name of Zainab. The name of Zainab changed the equation in the political domain in the world today. Syria was a war-torn country. The opposition was growing stronger and stronger. They wanted to remove the president of Syria. What changed the equation is the name of Zainab, the grave of Zainab, the shrine of Zainab. When the Wahhabis, they threatened to demolish the shrine of Sayyidina Zainab as they demolished the shrine of Hajr ibn Adi and Ammar ibn Yasir, all of a sudden, the lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, hearing the name of Zainab, Zainab shall not be taken as captive again, shall not be captivated again by the children and the descendants of the Umayyads that captivated her, that took her as captive on the day of Ashura. So they went to Syria, and in the name of protecting the shrine of Zainab, that tipped the balance in favor of the current government in Syria and changed the political landscape. The name of Zainab changes everything. A man who was a scholar, but he pretended to be a crazy man, called Buhlul. He once went to Mecca. He circumambulated around the Kaaba. He did the walk between Safa and Marwa. After finishing his rituals, he said, Ya Allah, thank you very much for everything. For all the bounties, for all the blessings. But don't forget that it was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And through his sacrifices that we're Muslims today, that we're religious today. Then he goes to Medina. He visits the Prophet. He recites all the visitations of Rasulullah. When he was about to leave this holy city of Medina, he said, Ya Rasulullah, thank you very much for everything. But don't forget the sacrifices of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. If it wasn't for him, as you said, أنت تقاتل على التأويل وأنا أقاتل على التنزيل. He safeguarded the religion after you passed away, after you died. So don't forget Ali. Then he goes to Najaf. He visits Amir al-Mu'mineen and then says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, it's because of you that we're mu'mins, that we believe in God. لولاك يا علي لم يعرف المؤمنون بعدي. As the Prophet said, that if it wasn't for you, you couldn't discern between a mu'min and a non-mu'min. And he said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, don't forget the role of Hussein and his sacrifices. Imam Hussein alayhi salam was the one that protected the religion through his sacrifices. And he goes to Karbala, visits Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Ya Aba Abdullah, أشهد أنك أقمت الصلاة، آتيت الزكاة، أمرت بالمعروف، نهيت عن المنكر، لتنقذ عبادك من الجهالة وحيرة الضلالة. You saved humanity. You saved all the values that were about to be obliterated by the likes of Yazid. But then he said, Ya Aba Abdullah, don't forget the role of Zainab. It was because of Zainab that your pristine message was protected after your death. Wherever she went, she talked about Imam Hussein alayhi salam. In the city of Kufa, after the sermon of Zainab, everyone was crying for Aba Abdullah. She said to them that your weeping shall never stop. You have killed my brother Hussein. In Sham, when she gave her sermon, Yazid's wife Hind came to visit her. She didn't know who she was. She said to her, where'd you come from? She said, I came from Medina. Medina, assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah. I was in the holy city of Medina. I was a maid in the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. She said, do you know anything about the household of Ali ibn Abi Talib after his demise? She didn't know that Zainab was actually the daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen. She said, can I ask you about the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Zainab? She couldn't recognize him because of all the tragedies that she witnessed. And when she realized that this is Zainab, she came out in public. Oh Yazid, we are wearing the hijab and the abaya and the cloak and everything, and you took away all the hijabs and all the abayat, all the cloaks of the women folk of Rasulullah. It was like a coup in the assembly of Yazid. Who did all of that? Imam Zain al-Abidin couldn't talk, couldn't speak. Or if he could, he couldn't attack. But Lady Zainab had the impunity. She had the reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that allowed her to say whatever she wanted to say. And through her sermons, she protected the name of Abu Abdullah. Her ordeal began on the day of Ashura. With the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, what she experienced was something that we cannot fathom and understand, because she witnessed all the horrors and all the tragedies that Imam al-Hussein witnessed. And in addition to all of the tragedies that he witnessed, she witnessed more tragedies. When Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was killed, she was there. She stood on the hill. She saw everything. She talked to Umar ibn Sa'd. She talked to Shimr ibn al-Jawshan. Do you know what you're doing? يا شمر هذا حجة الله في الورى أعد نظرا يا شمر إن كنت تعقل. This is the proof of God on earth. Then after the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Sukaina says that I was waiting beside the entrance of the tent, not knowing what these people will do to us. Will they kill us? They could, and they probably will kill us. All of a sudden she heard Umar ibn Sa'd call out, أحرقوا بيوت الظالمين. Burn all the tents, set them ablaze. She said they raided the camp of Abu Abdullah. Historians tell us that 80 of the children that were in Karbala were killed in the stampede. 80. One of them was Hamida, the daughter of Muslim Na'aqi. All the children of Muslim Na'aqi, except for the two that died later, were killed in Karbala. All the lineage, all the descendants of Aqil were killed in Karbala. His lineage was severed on the day of Ashura. And they would chase the little girls to steal their earrings. And they wouldn't take the earrings out of their ears. They would pull the earrings with their ears. This is what they witnessed. Lady Zainab comes to Imam Zayn al-Abidin. Ya baqiyat al-madi wa thumalat al-tayyibin. You are the Imam after my brother Abu Abdullah. What should we do? Tell us. They burnt the tents. He said, Amma alaykunna bil-firar. You have to run. And all the children would seek refuge in Lady Zainab, would come around. They go wherever she goes. Amma alaykunna bil-firar. She said that after they killed Imam Hussein alayhi salam and went inside the tent, all of a sudden, we felt that something happened. We didn't know what it was. Imam Zayn al-Abidin says, he was very ill. Allow me to see the sky. So she allowed him to see the sky, opening the entrance of the tent. He said to her that this is the head of my father, Abu Abdullah. It has been placed on a long spear. After sunset, they bring water to the tent. They didn't want Imam al-Hussein and his companions to drink from the water. But now, the children and the women are allowed to drink from the water. So the container is given to Zainab. Zainab doesn't drink from the water. She gives it to Rabab. Rabab gives it to Layla. Layla gives it to Kulthum. Kulthum gives it to Sukaina. Sukaina gives it to Ruqayya. They thought that Ruqayya was very thirsty from the 7th of Muharram till the 10th of Muharram. She was very thirsty, but she takes the container. They think that she's going to drink from the water. She runs towards the battlefield. They say to her, what are you doing? Where are you going? She said that I heard my father say, وَحَقْ جَدِّي أَنَا عَطْشَانٌ. He said that I was thirsty. I want to give water to my father. They said to her that your father is gone. So she threw the container. She didn't want to drink from the water. My father wanted water. Now that he's gone, I don't want to drink from the water. They say that in the middle of the night, Lady Zainab was awake. She prayed Salatul Layl that night. And she was roaming around the tent, keeping an eye on the children, the bereaving mothers, the wailing children that are crying. One is saying, "Where's my uncle?" One is saying, "Where's my father?" One is saying, "Where's my brother?" Suddenly she saw that Rubab is missing. Where is Rubab? She looked for Rubab in this tent, that tent. Where is Rubab? So she called out, "Rubab, oh Rubab, where are you?" In the middle of the night. "Rubab, where are you?" Then she heard the sound of Rubab, the voice of Rubab. "Where are you?" She's in the middle of the battlefield. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, whenever one of his companions was killed, he would take the body, the corpse, to a tent to protect the body. And he would say, "Qatlatun ki qatlatin nabiyyin." They were killed like prophets were killed, except for the body of Abu al-Fadl Abbas and his own body. When the enemies raided the tent, they took out all the bodies, all the corpses from the tent, so that they could stomp over them with horses to break their ribs. So Rubab was in the middle of the battlefield. What was she doing? She's looking for something. "Rubab, what are you doing in the middle of the night? I am worried. The enemies are still there." She said to her, "Zainab, oh Zainab, now that I drank water, I have milk." And you know, when a mother witnesses the death of her infant and she still has milk, this is very painful because this reminds her of the baby. She has milk, she wants to nurse the baby, but the baby is not there. She said, "I drank water. Now that I'm quenched, I have a lot of milk. I am looking for my son Ali al-Asghar. Where is his body?" Not knowing that they beheaded Ali al-Asghar after they dug the grave. Aywa mama, aywa ghariba. When they were about to leave the holy city of Karbala, Lady Zainab helped all the women to mount on the saddleless camels. But when it was her turn, there was no one to help her. So she called out to Akhi Aba al-Fadl, "Anta alladhi arkabtani fi mahmili." You helped me mount on the camel when we were about to leave the city of Medina. Where are you now? "Abbas, anta alladhi akhrajtani min manzili." Where are you, Abbas? Where can I find you, Abbas? When they see a woman approaching, who is that woman? She is Fidda. "I am here, O Lady Zainab. I can help you to mount on the camel." Fidda was also there when Fatima al-Zahra was crushed between the door and the wall. When Fatima called out, "Ya Fidda, asnidini fa wallah qad saqata ma fi ahshai." Fidda is there to help Sayyidah Zainab mount the camel. But these wicked enemies wanted to torture the children, wanted to torture the woman. So they went through the battlefield so they could see the corpses, the mutilated bodies lying on the sand dunes of Karbala. Lady Sukaina says that I saw my auntie Zainab throwing herself from the camel on a headless body. I said, "Amma Zainab, whose body is this?" She said, said to me that this is the body of your father Sukaina, she throws herself from her camel as well. She crawls to the body of her father while the enemies are whipping her, pulling her away from the body. She embraces the mutilated corpse of Aba Abdullah. She has many questions to ask. Little hearts who had to bear colossal tragedies. من الذي قطع الرأس الشريف بويا منه اللي قطع راسك. Who beheaded you, O Father? ومنه السل بثيابك. Why aren't you covered with a shroud, O Aba Abdullah? غطى كل مصاب الماجرة مصابك. Any tragedy when compared to the tragedy of Aba Abdullah pales. غطى كل مصاب الماجرة مصابك. عسى بعيد البلا مخضب. Why is your beard smeared? Smeared with the blood of his heart. عسى بعيد البلا مخضب وبفيض الدم خضابك. ويا ريتني عمية ولا أشوفك. I wish if I was blind and didn't see you like this in this state in Karbala. واصحابك واهل بيتك ضحايا مطرحة بكترك. Your companions, your relatives that are around you, scattered around you, all beheaded. ضحايا مطرحة بكترك ويا ريت تعقرت هالخيل. I wish if the horses weren't able to walk and instead of stomping over your body. يا ريت تعقرت هالخيل ولا داست على صدرك. يا ريت الموت أخذ عمري. I wish if I was dead. شلي بعمري بعد ولياي. Oh Father, oh Aba Abdullah, everything befell you. All these tragedies befell you. أبا عبد الله يا ابن رسول الله. Why did they deprive you from the water? Why were you thirsty when they killed you? Oh أبا عبد الله ليش يا أبا عبد الله بهالشمس عاري وليش بكفن ما لفوك. Why didn't they cover you with a shroud, O Aba Abdullah? ليش على الرمح راسك? Why did they put your head on a long spear, O Aba Abdullah? Tell me, answer my questions, O Aba Abdullah. وليش بلا دفن عافوك؟ وليش تسلى بحجابي؟ Why did they loot my hijab? وصرت أتستر بيمناي, and I had to cover my head and my face with my right hand. ومن ردت أنصب مناح عليك. Whenever I wanted to lament, whenever I wanted to cry, ليش الكفر من عوني? Why didn't these enemies of God allow me to cry for you? ومن أجري دموع عليك بشعب الرمح ضربوني. They would attack me with the rear of their spears. Oh Aba Abdullah يا ابن رسول الله إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. The best thing that we can do to make our Imam happy is to pray for his hasty reappearance. So let's recite Dua al-Faraj together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma kulli waliyika al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala abaihi fi هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Please recite Surah Al-Fatiha after a loud salawat.